your English podcast.
Hello and welcome, my friends. I'm so happy you joined me today. This episode is for everyone who wants to really improve their English, not just study rules, but actually speak English with confidence. Today, we talk about something that worries many learners. I understand English, but I can't speak it. If you feel this way, please remember, you're not alone. Many people know a lot of words and grammar, but still feel scared when they try to talk. That problem is very common, but it's also something you can change step by step. Let's begin with a friendly hello. Thank you for choosing this podcast. If you want to improve speaking and listening, you're in the right place. I want you to feel comfortable, relaxed, and brave, like you can learn and try, even if it feels strange at first. My goal is to help you see that if you want to start speaking better English, you don't need to be perfect, and you don't need to study all day long. You just need to speak a little bit every day. Let's talk about a normal way people learn English. Maybe you recognize yourself here. Many learners buy grammar books and start with the rules. They look at tenses, past, present, and future. They remember the rules, try more difficult grammar, and do exercises in a notebook. Next, they find lists of new words. Maybe they try to learn 10 or even 50 words every day, writing them on flashcards or in their phones. Some like to read English books or watch movies with subtitles. These are all helpful things to do. Grammar, vocabulary, reading, and listening will help you understand English better. But here's the big problem. Most students spend all their time studying English, but they don't use English. They wait to speak until they feel ready. When I know more words, then I'll talk. When I finish this grammar book, then I'll find a speaking partner. But the feeling of being ready can wait for years, and sometimes it never comes. Many learners work hard. They spend hours reading and practicing, but when someone asks them a question in English, they feel nervous. Their mind goes blank. Maybe they even understand the other person, but the words won't come out. They freeze, or they feel shy and scared to make a mistake. This is a very common feeling, and if you feel it too, I want to tell you, it's not your fault. The reason this happens is because traditional studying is only half the story. Imagine you want to learn how to swim. You watch YouTube videos about swimming. You read books about the right way to move your arms and legs. You learn all the names of swimming styles: freestyle, backstroke, butterfly. You know everything about swimming except you never get into the water. Can you swim? Of course not. You can only become a swimmer by getting wet, moving in the water, trying, and practicing again and again. English works the same way. You can study grammar and learn vocabulary, but if you never use the language, if you never open your mouth to speak, you'll never feel confident as a real speaker. English is not math or history. It's a living thing you use to connect with people, to say who you are, to express your real thoughts and feelings. The best way to learn a language is by using it, especially by speaking it out loud. Many students believe they need to be perfect before they can start. They think, first I need to finish learning all the tenses. Then, I'll remember 1,000 words. Then, I'll start to speak. This idea is not helpful. It stops you from making real progress. In fact, you become better at speaking by speaking, not by waiting until you are perfect. Let's take another example. How do babies learn to speak their first language? They don't use grammar books. They listen to people around them. They repeat. They try. They make a lot of mistakes. But every day, they use their growing skills. Slowly, they speak more, and each day they get a little better. Our brain is made to learn language by doing, not just by studying. Sometimes, traditional English classes focus on writing and grammar tests. In school, you might get good grades for writing, but when you meet someone who actually speaks English, suddenly you feel lost. Your speaking skill isn't as strong as your ability to read or write. This is normal and shows that knowing English and using English are not the same. Reading and listening are passive skills. You receive information. Speaking is an active skill. You need to produce and share. That takes practice, not just study. So, If you are spending all your time on grammar, vocabulary, and reading, but you still can't speak, it's time to change your approach. There are many reasons for this feeling. Sometimes it's the fear of mistakes. Sometimes you are afraid that people won't understand you. Sometimes you just wait for a perfect moment, but it never comes. This is why we need to start speaking today. Here's the big message. Speaking is not the last step in learning a language. Speaking is the main way to actually become a real speaker. In life, knowing about something and being able to do something are not the same. It's like learning to drive a car. You can read the driving manual, but you only really learn to drive by being behind the wheel. Or imagine playing the guitar. You can watch many videos, but you'll never actually play well unless you pick up the guitar and practice. Let's talk about how you can begin to speak English now, even if you are shy or you think you aren't ready. One very helpful thing is to talk to yourself in English. Yes, it might feel funny, but this is great practice. When you are alone, you can comment on things you do. Maybe you're cooking. Say, "Now I am cutting tomatoes," or "I am boiling pasta." Describe what you are wearing. "I am wearing a red sweater and blue jeans." When you walk outside, describe the weather, the people around you, or anything you see. "It's windy today," or "a little dog is running in the park." Every time you say something out loud, you are training your brain and your mouth to work together. Try to make a habit of these little micro practices, mini speaking sessions of 3 or 5 minutes through the day. You don't need to talk for an hour to make progress. In fact, small and regular practice is much more powerful. When you practice a little every day, you build confidence much faster. Let's continue talking about how to stop only studying and finally start speaking English every day. Remember, you don't need to speak for hours each day to grow. Even 5 or 10 minutes a day can make a big difference. Let's talk about simple daily speaking activities you can do alone or with friends. First, continue the habit of talking to yourself in English about your day. When you wake up, try saying what you will do. "This morning, I will go to work. I need to buy bread. I want to call my friend." When you cook or clean, describe the actions. "I am washing the dishes," or "Now I am making coffee." This connects your English study to daily life. Another great activity is to tell short stories about your day. In the evening, look back and say, "Today, I went to work by bus. It was raining. At lunch, I tried a new restaurant. I felt happy." Practice this every day, and you'll soon find that English words come more quickly and easily. You can also ask yourself simple questions and then answer them. For example, "What did I do today?" "I went shopping." Or, "How do I feel now?" "I feel tired, but good." Ask and answer aloud. You can also make questions about your plans. "What will I do tomorrow?" "Tomorrow I will go to the gym." Don't forget to describe what you see around you. Look around your room or out your window and practice. "I see a blue chair," or "There are cars on the street," or "A woman is walking her dog." This helps you use new vocabulary and build confidence. If possible, record yourself speaking English. Most phones have voice recorders. Pick a topic, record for a minute or two, and then listen again. You will hear your mistakes and your progress. Sometimes, you will notice something you want to change. That is good. This is real learning. Over time, your speech will become smoother, and you will feel prouder of your progress. Now, let's talk about making mistakes because this is something that scares many people. You may feel embarrassed if you say something wrong, or you might worry people will laugh. Maybe you freeze because you're afraid to make any mistake. But remember, mistakes are not bad. They are your chance to grow. Every time you make a mistake and keep going, you teach your brain to try new ideas, to fix problems, and to find better ways next time. When you make a mistake, your brain pays special attention. For example, if you say, "He go to school," and your friend corrects you, "He goes," you remember this rule better than if you just read it in a book. Mistakes are your teachers. They show you what to fix and help you remember for next time. Even native English speakers make mistakes. They forget words or say things the wrong way. But they just correct themselves and keep talking. So be brave. The only people who never make mistakes are people who never try or never speak. So, if you are making mistakes, it means you are learning and moving forward. If you feel nervous, start small. Say simple sentences at first. Use, I like apples, the weather is nice, or today is Monday. As you get comfortable, try to talk a bit longer or add details. With time and practice, longer phrases and stories will feel easier. When you are ready, try to find a speaking partner. This can be a friend who is also learning English, someone from your family, or someone you meet online in a language learning group. You can exchange messages or do short calls. You don't need a perfect partner. You just need someone else who is willing to practice regularly. If you cannot find anyone, online language exchange apps and websites have many people looking for conversation partners from all over the world. If you join a group or class, remember, everyone is learning. Everyone feels shy sometimes, and everyone wants to improve. Be kind to yourself and others, and don't worry about looking strange. Real language is always a little messy and different. Another useful trick is to shadow native speakers. Find a video, podcast, or song you like. Say the lines along with the speaker, trying to match their rhythm and sound. This will train your ear and your mouth. If it's hard at first, pause and repeat shorter parts. It's a bit like singing along to a favorite song. Shadowing helps you learn new pronunciation, sentence structure, and the real music of spoken English. You can also send voice messages instead of text. On your phone or computer, choose voice flow. Send a friend or a group a spoken message. Ask a simple question, give short news, or talk about your day. This feels different from live speaking, but is much less stressful. With practice, it turns into a natural skill. And don't forget to practice simple daily situations in English, ordering food, greeting people, asking and answering what time it is, or talking about the weather. You can practice these scenarios by role-playing alone or with a friend. The last tip in this part, celebrate your progress. At the end of every week, think about what went well. Maybe you can say 10 new sentences. Maybe you made a mistake and fixed it. Maybe you spoke English in public for the first time. Be proud every step of the way. Now, let's talk about one of the most important parts of learning to speak English, motivation. Without motivation, it's hard to keep going, even when you have good habits and helpful tips. So, how can you stay motivated to speak English every day, even on days when you feel busy, tired, or a little bit lost? First, remember your why. Why do you want to speak English? Is it for work, travel, making new friends, or watching your favorite shows without subtitles? When you remind yourself of your dream, you give yourself a real reason to keep going, even when it feels hard. Try to think of your dream every morning. Imagine yourself speaking English easily. Imagine someone asks you a question in English and you answer with a smile and no fear. Keep that picture in your mind. Set small, easy goals every week. For example, this week, I will practice speaking for 5 minutes every day, or I will learn and use 5 new words in a real conversation. When you achieve your goal, even if it's simple, give yourself a small reward, like your favorite treat, a relaxing walk, or a good movie. If you miss a day or two, don't worry. Everyone has busy days, gets tired, or just forgets. Don't feel guilty. The most important thing is to return and start again. Even after a break, you can pick up your habits and keep moving forward. Fear and shyness can sometimes make it hard to speak. You may feel nervous about making mistakes or worried people will not understand you. These feelings are normal and happen to almost everyone, especially at the start. The best way to deal with fear is to do the thing you are afraid of, but start small. Speak to yourself in a mirror or record your voice first. When you are ready, speak to a friend or join a small group. Little by little, your fear will get smaller. Try to add English to your daily routine in small ways. If you make shopping lists, write them in English. When you see something interesting, describe it in English in your mind. If you're waiting in line, practice a short dialogue in your head, like ordering coffee or asking for help. It's also important to make your learning personal. Talk about things that matter to you: your job, your family, your city, your hobbies. When you speak about real things, it feels more natural and useful. Try to teach a new English word or phrase to someone else, even a friend who isn't learning, just for fun. Make use of technology. There are many apps, podcasts, videos, and games that make speaking practice more interesting. Some apps let you talk to people all over the world. Others have daily questions you can answer. Try different tools and find what you like best. Don't compare yourself to others. Everyone learns at a different speed and has different challenges. Focus on your own progress. Look back often to see how far you have come. Maybe 1 month ago, you felt scared just to say hello. Today, you can say what you did this week or talk about your favorite movie. All of this is progress. When you feel nervous or stuck, remember, making mistakes is a good thing. It means you are learning. No one speaks perfectly, especially at the start. Every word you say and every mistake you make is part of your learning. People usually respect you for trying, and most people want to help, not judge. Sometimes you will feel tired or bored. That's okay. Take a small break and return to speaking when you feel ready. Try new topics, games, or songs to make practice fresh again. Speaking English should not be a punishment, but something you enjoy because it takes you closer to your dreams. At the end of each week, write down one thing you did well in English. Maybe you spoke to a stranger, learned a new word, or finished a recording. Celebrate every win, no matter how small. Now, let's finish with some more encouragement, practical ideas, and a reminder that speaking English is for everyone. Remember, the most important thing is to speak a little every day. The words do not have to be perfect. Progress is about action, not perfection. Each time you say something, whether it's hello to yourself in the mirror or a full story to a friend, you are becoming a better speaker. Here are some more simple ideas to keep daily practice interesting. Make a mini challenge. Today, I will use 3 new words when I talk. Share a funny story from your day out loud. Watch a short video and repeat one thing the speaker says. Try to say a tongue twister or a new song chorus. Teach a simple phrase to a family member, even if they do not know English. The more you play and experiment, the more natural speaking becomes. If you ever feel stuck, switch your routine. Join an online speaking club for a week. Try talking about a new topic, maybe sports, food, news, or your favorite childhood memory. Look for new situations where you can use English, like helping a tourist, chatting with a colleague, or online comments. Every reel you use builds your skills. Make your practice personal and meaningful. Talk about things you care about, your dreams, worries, and joys. Write and say one sentence a day about something you are grateful for. This helps your English feel like your language. Never forget, mistakes are signs of learning. The more mistakes you make, the faster you get better. If you say something wrong and get corrected, say thank you and try again. If you forget a word, use your hands, draw a picture, or use a similar word. Clever communication is more important than perfect words. If you ever feel like giving up, listen to how much braver and how much more expressive your English is than before. Play one of your first recordings. Notice the difference. Every little step, each time you open your mouth, is a small victory. You don't need a perfect accent, perfect grammar, or thousands of words to be a speaker. You only need the courage to start and the patience to keep going. Think of speaking as a muscle. A little exercise daily makes it stronger and more flexible. Learning to speak a language is like building a bridge to the world. With every sentence, you make the bridge bigger and stronger. Soon, you will travel across it to new ideas, people, and places just because you decided to speak. So today, start small, but start. Say your plans for the day, share a wish or memory, or invite someone to a quick chat in English. Speak out loud, speak often, and always be proud of your effort. Thank you for listening, for working hard, and for being brave. English is for everyone, especially for you. I believe in you. Keep practicing, keep smiling, and remember, every time you speak, you get closer to real fluency. You are not just learning a language, you are opening new doors in your life. Good luck, and I hope to speak with you again soon.